Hey guys, Sonic Smash Bro here, and oh no! Damn it! Yes, unfortunately, I really did not want to have to say this, but it's time. I am officially dropping RWBY. Yeah, unfortunately, what I feared that would happen has indeed come to pass. Volume 4 did exactly what I thought it would do, and only made the situation worse. And that friend of mine I mentioned who would finish the series all the way through, turns out he dropped the series as well after Volume 4. And I may as well say it, my look on Volume 3 is slightly outdated. I did speak some slightly incorrect information, so I figured it's time I update that as well. Pyra may have technically killed Penny, but it was Emerald who caused her to do that. And while a good amount of characters did have a personality worth a damn, Cardin didn't. And my overall view on Volume 1 and 2 has slightly changed. They aren't absolutely amazing. They're great, but some instances do feel a little bit rushed. Weiss's Tsundere development was a good deal rushed. And for Volume 2, although that was amazing, you never rush a finale. You just don't. But Volume 3, I think, really fucked up way too much. You killed off two of the fan favorites, and then completely ruined another one. Yeah, I've already mentioned my hatred with Volume 3 as it is, but let's discuss Volume 4. Pretty much only like one or two things worthwhile actually fucking happened. It just felt like a boring volume, and this is coming from word of mouth. I don't give a shit about Volume 3 and 4. I didn't even bother watching because with Volume 3, I already knew it was gonna fucking happen. And for Volume 4, I was waiting until somebody could confirm that it was good. Well, unfortunately, it's bad. Really, really bad. And don't get me started on Volume 4, Chapter 3 of Runaways and Stowaways. Unfortunately for Yang, she is forced to use a prosthetic arm. I don't fucking approve of that one bit. You wanna know why? Well, look at the shit you're seeing on screen in Volume 1 here. This is a Volume 1 screenshot. She punched that fucking Nevermore in the mouth, literally a fist in the mouth, a few times over, while hanging over pretty much certain death. She is essentially what I would classify as the female Ken Masters. And they fucking took that away from her in Volume 3, and made it even worse in Volume 4. The way I see it, Yang is a character whom, if I'm not mistaken, would rather kick ass with her own two fucking fists. Why in the hell would you fucking take that away from her? That is her character. Badass, takes no shit, and on the other side, when she's not in battle, cares for her whole team and actually shows a compassionate heart. Volume 3 took all of that away from her, and Volume 4 made it worse. At this point, the way I see it, this is again from word of mouth, but from the way I see it with each character, RWBY, Ren, and Nora are the only good ones left. More so RWBY, if anybody, is really the only good character left. Because the way she changed, although it was from bullshit being the cause, actually makes fucking sense. It's something that Hyperdimension Neptunia got right. Even though the characters get more serious as time goes on, they still keep what makes them likable characters intact. Same thing with going from the original game to Mach 2. Even though Mach 2 is way more serious than the original game, it still kept some of that Hyperdimension Neptunia charm intact. And that is what you always need to do. If you're gonna change something, change it enough to where it feels a little bit different, and it feels different from its previous entries, but keep the core of the series itself intact. Keep what makes it successful intact. And, as much as I hate to say it, RWBY didn't do that. one bit with Volume 3 and 4. Now, does this mean I'm dropping RWBY permanently? For the time being, yes. However, there are 3 things that need to be fixed. At least confirm that Pyrrha is still alive somewhere. Rebuild Penny, which that should be easy enough to do. And the biggest one of all, even if the other 2 happen, this is the critical one. Give Yang her actual fucking right arm back. I can't stress enough how much I hate that prosthetic shit. It completely contradicts her character. Yeah, I get that Ironwood is trying to help, but come on, he explained it in a fucking cliche way. Our top scientist designed this arm. Well, buddy, you have a severe logic fail. Let's say they did design that arm. How come they didn't design the mech that was in Volume 2, Chapter 4, Painting the Town? And let's say they did. How come Yang was able to one-shot it when boosted with her semblance? It's a severe fucking logic fail. One could argue mass production, and okay, fine. And one could also argue, on top of it, that they aren't able to mass produce really powerful mechs all the time. Okay, fine. But can't they just at least mass produce a couple, so that they at least have some elite units? Exactly. You see, the problem with this is, for me, is that RWBY isn't doing what a series usually should do with its future installments. Change enough to where it isn't stale, but keep the core intact. Keep what makes it successful intact. Like I said, I'm going to keep bringing it up over and over again in comparison, Hyperdimension Neptunia. The reason I bring that up is because, believe it or not, the 4 CPUs, Neptune, Noir, Blonde, and Vert, are very similar to RWBY, Weiss, Blake, and Yang, respectively. No, seriously, look at the comparisons. They're quite similar. The only difference is, at least the Hyperdimension Neptunia cast remained likable throughout every game. Well, most of the big ones. It's 4 CPUs, the CPU candidates, Compa, IF, Histoire. Like, all the major ones. They all remained likable throughout the series. And that is a sign of good consistency. With Volume 1, Team RWBY, of course, Team Juniper, Ozpin, to an extent Glenn the Good Witch, she was just sort of there. Even Roman Torchwick was freaking hilarious. Then we got Sung Wukong, he was a cool dude. And then there's Penny, whom a lot of people really like, and Velvet, who I kind of felt sorry for. Fucking Cardin. Volume 2, pretty much most of it remained intact, but we got Emerald, who is freaking hilarious. Like, literally the funniest villain among the group thus far, at the time. Neptune was a little annoying. No, not Neptune is in the CPU. And that's really about it as far as new characters. Oh yeah, Cinder. She was okay. She was the more mysterious character, which I thought would have been interesting. Volume 3, by the time it was over, it was only RWBY. To an extent, Nora and Ren, but it was only RWBY. And that's a fucking problem, because you're ruining a lot of characters. You killed off Penny. You killed off Pyrrha. You turned Emerald into a fucking bitch. You made Ozpin go missing, so we don't know what the fuck happened. You made Cinder into a Deus Ex Machina overpowered bitch, and some might argue it wasn't Deus Ex Machina. Well, if she was occupied with Ozpin, how the fuck did she shoot an arrow at Amber from out of fucking nowhere, right as Pyrrha was about to do her thing? Yeah, that is kinda fucking bullshit. I've ranted on Volume 3 enough at this point, but Volume 4, all I can say is, that prosthetic arm was enough to kill it for me. If they fix all 3 of the critical issues, and then kind of go back to the roots with Volume 5, maybe I'll go back. But for now, I can't. I just can't. That's all I can really say on the matter. I am Sonic Smash Bro, and, as much as I don't want to say it, farewell, RWBY. Hopefully for now.